What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another Warframe video. I'm Bouse Phoenix, and if you're like me and have no friends, you play this game solo a lot. Now, it's because of that you might be wondering, Bouse, how do you get through everything without group members? How do you do the sortie, etc., etc.? Well, I thought about that, and what I wanted to do for today's video is show you guys my top 5 go-to solo frames for getting stuff done. Let's jump in. Alrighty then, so our first frame may be a bit of a surprise to you, seeing as she's not a very popular pick among players these days as far as I've seen. This right here is Ember, and with the right build, she's pretty much the crowd control queen. If I need to stay for a while on a survival, or I just want to get through a high-level exterminate quickly, Ember has always been my go-to. To achieve that level of crowd control, I usually go with an all-around build that features all 4 stats in the positive. This allows me to use World on Fire very efficiently, which I'm using with the Firequake augment. The result of this build is a power with very generous range that constantly knocks enemies down, and I still have access to Ember's other abilities like Accelerant, which also stuns enemies and helps me deal a little extra fire damage. For our next frame on the list, if you've ever seen a Tactical Potato video, I can tell you that this frame needs no introduction as a solo frame, but for those of you out there that haven't, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you anyway. This is Chroma, and he's an amazing tank warframe with many different uses. Currently, I use him as a bullet sponge that soaks up massive amounts of damage, and by doing so, he's able to turn just about any weapon into a death-dealing monster. For those of you that don't know, Chroma is a unique frame whose powers gain a different elemental effect like Toxin, Ice, Fire, or Electricity depending on what color you choose. There isn't any of these really better than the others, seeing as they're all used for different things, but when I play Chroma solo, I usually opt for the Ice element as it makes him almost unkillable. For this to work, you'll need a light energy color and a build that focuses on power, strength, and duration. Once you've got that down, it's as simple as using Elemental Ward and Vex Armor, his number 2 and 3 abilities. As you take damage to your shield, you'll gain armor, and as you take damage to your health, you'll gain weapon damage. Keep these skills up at all times, and there isn't much you can't solo. Just make sure to watch out for high-level Corpus enemies. A lot of their weapons do puncture damage, which can absolutely wreck you. Our next frame just so happens to be one of my favorite warframes of all time. This game has many different warframes to choose from, and many of them have been reworked over and over again, but this one has always been extremely solid as both a solo frame and a team player. His name is Frost, and when used correctly, he can absolutely trivialize most high-level content. Not only does he have a fantastically powerful AoE skill with Avalanche, which covers a large area, and can remove armor with a little power duration, he also has the Snow Globe ability, which is an amazing survivability tool. I typically use Frost when I need to play a mission type like Mobile Defense, Extraction, or just a regular old defense because his Snow Globe is so good at protecting these objectives. Not only does it block any projectile damage, it also slows any melee units that step inside its radius. Now, you can build Frost for a bunch of different situations, but this is a typical build that I use. The power, strength, and armor on the build help us achieve the strongest snow globe possible, and while the duration is lacking, we're still able to use Avalanche for its damage-dealing capabilities. You can bet that if there's a point that needs to be defended, I'll be bringing Frost. For this slot, number 4 on the list, it was really a toss-up between the frame I chose and Ivara. They're both great stealth frames capable of some amazing utility on the battlefield, but in the end I had to go with the frame you're seeing here, whose name is Loki. When I'm using a stealth frame to solo, it's usually because I'm farming spy missions for any of several reasons, and for this I feel that Loki is much faster movement speed-wise and a lot less clunky to use. Conversely, Loki is also great for survival type missions, as with the Irradiating Disarm augment, he gains a fantastic crowd control skill, so between a build that focuses on very long periods of invisibility like this one, or a build that has awesome crowd control potential such as this, I never really feel I'm lacking in options as far as utility goes. Our last frame was a tough choice for me, seeing as there are a lot of really great solo frames in this game. Usually in this spot I would have gone with Mesa, but honestly I've done like 4 videos about her, and by now you guys are probably sick of hearing it. For our last frame on this list though, I decided to go with a warframe that I've been playing more and more lately. His name is Inaros, and man is he broken sometimes. For starters, Inaros has a massive health pool, like seriously massive. With a max vitality, you'll have over 4k health. Additionally, Inaros has no shield. This may seem like a downside, but when you realize you can throw on a rage mod and literally get energy every time you take a hit, you tend to forget about it. Add to that the fact that pretty much all of Inaros' abilities heal him, and the result is a wholly self-sufficient warframe capable of insane crowd control. The one downside to all this is that Inaros isn't exactly the easiest frame to use. You kind of have to get in a rhythm of alternating his abilities to stay alive, and at really high levels, this can become slightly chaotic. The build I use is kind of funky, but trust me, it works out. We're focusing on range here with some power strength, because without the power strength, you won't get a lot of health back from Inaros' number 4 ability. Efficiency doesn't really matter, as if you're in a fight, you're going to be gaining energy pretty much all the time. At the end of the day, though, if you can cement your playstyle with Inaros and learn when and how to use him, you'll have a fairly powerful solo frame on your hands. But that's going to do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look at my top 5 solo Warframes for getting stuff done. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider leaving a like down below because it helps me out a ton here on YouTube. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I put out new videos daily, and we just hit 40,000 YouTube subscribers. I almost have enough of you hanging around to take over a small country, so that's pretty exciting. Until next time, though, I'm Baus Phoenix. I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.